So we're gonna go through Skin in the Game once again. It's still, I think, at least at my point of view, a pretty great book with a few very great insights and a few very great thoughts, if you will. And it is amazing. It really is amazing, I think, at my point of view, once again. So we're gonna go ahead with book 4. Yesterday we went through book 2 and 3, and the day before we went through book 1. And yeah, I don't know if, I think we're probably also going to go through 2 books today. I don't know. It heavily depends. So let's have a look at it. Book 4, Wolves Among Dogs. By being employees, they signal a certain type of domestication. Someone who has been employed for a while is giving you strong evidence of submission. Evidence of submission is displayed by the employees going through years depriving himself of his personal freedom for 9 hours every day, his ritualistic and punctual arrival at an office, his denying himself his own schedule, and his not having beaten up anyone on the way back home after a bad day. He's an obedient, housebroken dog. Well, I think we can just really clearly see his, or notice and hear his thoughts and also opinions on being employed, I guess. Well, I don't know. I mean, there is some truth to that. I'm not gonna lie that even though the whole obedient thing, which is something that I don't like, whether it is about school, whether it is about work, I don't really believe that we just need to be obedient. Of course, in some way we do. But yeah, I do think that being or just contributing your personal thoughts and your personal personality can be a very great thing for the company. Of course, I mean, in first place, they might be saying like, okay, you have to be doing this in this way and that way and whatnot. But if you are like, well, just, I don't know, it's not working for me in this way, and I would be just 100 times more efficient if I'm doing it in this other way, which does not have anything to do with being obedient, then of course they're going to say yes, because why wouldn't they? There's no fucking reason why they wouldn't. So I don't know. I do also kind of believe that we can not be obedient as well. But sometimes it is like, at least I feel in that way. I don't actually know if it is kind of the case or not. It just probably is going to be really depending on like what job it is, what company it is, who is running the company, whether it is a family business or not, and all sorts of things. But I don't know. I mean, if an employee can contribute something to the company in a great way, and they haven't been doing it before, like why should the owner or the CEO or whomever say no? If the company man is sort of gone, the company man is sort of gone, he has been replaced by the company's person. For people are no longer owned by a company, but by something worse, the idea that they need to be employable. The employable person is embedded in an industry with fear of upsetting not just the employer, but other potential employers. What's going on there? Well, I don't actually know what he's referring to right now. For people are no longer owned by a company, but by something worse, the idea that they need to be employable. Do I think it that way? Not really. I do think that of course, I mean, if you're concerned that you're not employable because of whatever reason, because, I don't know, because you're not good or something, then yeah, okay, you have to be concerned. And it is a bad thing. It is even worse than indeed being owned, quote unquote, by a company. But still, I mean, like, nah, just nah. In the famous tale by Aqua or something, Ahiqar, later picked up by the Aesop, then again by La Fontaine or something, and the dog boasts to the wolf all the contraptions of comfort and luxury he has, almost prompting the wolf to enlist, until the wolf asks the dog about his color and is terrified when he understands its use. Of all your meals, I want nothing. He ran away and is still running. The question is, what would you like to be, a dog or a wolf? Yeah, it's actually the exact same thing as the two things above. I understand why Taleb is talking about it in that way. I'm not gonna lie, because yeah, I mean, I just understand it. Like you are doing something for somebody else, whether you like it or not, might be a factor, of course, in this debate, but I'm not gonna take it into account right now. But I just understand that he's like, well, Why would you be working for somebody else? Why wouldn't you just be doing your own thing? Why wouldn't you just be really indeed doing what you want to do? And all sorts of things. And I don't know if this is just based on bad experiences or just how things have been, because it might be also just my optimism, but I kind of think that this also to some degree changed, that it is not anymore about just only being obedient. It's not anymore just about only doing what your boss is saying you should be doing. Of course, in some jobs more than in some other jobs, but I think the things shifted at least a little tiny bit, at least at my point of view. Whatever you do, just don't be a dog claiming to be a wolf. Well, yeah, I think this is actually a good one. People like people, and they drop businesses when they get some generic and polite person on the phone in place of their warm and often exuberated salesperson friend. Yes, indeed. I mean, just customer service is a fucking important thing. And sometimes I kind of feel like that companies are neglecting to see that, which is not good. Those who use foul language on social media or social networks such as Twitter are sending an expensive signal that they are free and ironically competent. You don't signal competence if you don't take risks for it. There are a few such low-risk strategies. What is fool legacy? Not legacy, but language. What is fool language? Disgusting, revolting, repellent? I'm not sure. Ironically, the highest status that of a free man is usually indicated by voluntarily adopting the mores of the lowest class. Nah, I wouldn't necessarily say so. Consider that English quote-unquote manners are imposed on the middle class as a way of domesticating them, along with instilling in them the fear of breaking rules and violating social norms. Which, by the way, has always pissed me off. If people really, and I kind of just tend to aim this more on older generations, if they really care about those social norms so much, so just damn much actually as well, that it is just insane, I think. And I mean, to some degree, I just kind of understand it, that you just don't want to be, you don't want to be viewed as a negative thing in society and stuff like this. And I don't know, I think back in the days, people have also been talking more about other people just in person and stuff. Nowadays, we're just doing this on social media, but the thing is just nobody knows you anyway. The thing is, I don't know, I just like breaking social norms and norms in general, because sometimes I feel like they are just really fucking useless and just unnecessary. Of course, I don't want to say that all of them are necessary and useless and whatnot, but sometimes they are. What matters isn't what a person has or doesn't have, it is what he or she is afraid of losing. People whose survival depends on qualitative job assessments, quote unquote, by someone of higher rank in an organization cannot be trusted for critical decision. People whose survival depends on qualitative job assessments by someone of... The only way we have left to control suicide terrorists would be precisely to convince them that blowing themselves up is not the worst case scenario for them, nor the end scenario at all, making the families and loved ones bear a financial burden, just as Germans still pay for war crimes, would immediately add consequences to their actions. The penalty needs to be properly calibrated to be a true disincentive without imparting any sense of heroism or martyrdom to the families in question. I mean, this is a common theme, I think, at least as I remember, that Taleb is talking about in various books. And I gotta have to say, like, it is not necessarily something that I think about often. It, I think, is just very, very understandable that he's talking and also thinking about it, since he grew up in Lebanon and stuff like that, or he was born in Lebanon. I don't know if he's still living there or whether he just was growing up there and stuff. But I don't know, I think it is just a little bit of a closer topic to him as it is, for example, to me. And I'm just getting emails all over the place and stuff like that. And I just kind of have to view that. I hope that I'm going to cut that out, which is not going to be the case probably. Let's see. I don't get that shit. I mean, I really don't get it. I've been just trying to get some information on a house that we would like to rent, and something is just completely wrong now because everything is broken. Well, anyway, book 5, being alive means taking certain risks. Arguments that Trump was a failed entrepreneur, even if true, actually prop up this argument. You would even rather have a failed real person than a successful one, as blemishes, scars, and character flaws increase the distance between a human and a ghost. Before we end, take some fat Tony wisdom. Always do more than you talk, and precede talk with action. For it will always remain that action without talk supersedes talk without action. But I just still don't get it. Like, what's the meaning of that? Like, I really don't understand it. I really don't fucking get it. Like, I mean, aren't they? Well, I don't know. Well, anyway, I'm sorry. It's just interesting. With psychology studies replicated less than 40% of the time, I just have to close something down because, I don't know, something is breaking. Now it's working again, fucking emails. With psychology students replicating less than 40% of the time, dietary advice reversing after 30 years of dietary fat phobia, macroeconomics and financial economics, while trapped in an intricate gargantuan patch of words, scientifically worse than astrology, this is what the reader of the inserter has known since Fooled by Randomness. The reappointment of Bernanke in 2010 who was less than clueless about financial risks as the Federal Reserve boss and pharmaceutical tries replicating at best only a third of the time. People are perfectly entitled to rely on their own ancestral instincts and to listen to their grandmothers or to Montaigne and such filtered classical knowledge who have a better track record than these policy-making goons. He likes to rant, I guess, and he's actually, I think, just tremendously upset about a lot of things, which I can understand, but I, as a person, I just tend to not be upset about just quite a lot of things, kind of, I tend to be like, well, it is what it is. Of course, I mean, if there's something that I can change then, and I actually also want to change it, then I would probably also try to do so. I just always have to think about a fucking email. But why does this matter then? Fuck. I get it now, I guess. Well. Yeah, anyway. While rich people believe in one tax dollar, one vote, more humanistic ones in one man, one vote. One tax dollar, one vote. Nah, I don't believe in that shit. I mean, if I'm just understanding it right, then no. I don't believe in this. I mean, like, I don't know. Like, just because you're having more money doesn't mean that you have more to say. Of course, I mean, in the end, you do have more to say because, I mean, you can use your money for a lot of things, but in the end, like, if it is about politics and if it is about just, I don't know, democracy, then I don't really believe that this is a good thing to do. Well, yeah, anyway. Monsanto in one lobbyist, one vote. The IYI believes in one Ivy League degree, one vote, with some equivalents for foreign elite schools and PhDs, as these are needed in the club. They are what Nietzsche called Bildungsphilister, educated Philistines. Bildungsphilister. I don't even know what the German means. That German word that means, but anyway, we're gonna go ahead. But I just don't really believe in this. I can understand that people do just want to get the best out of what they have. It's really normal, and I think it just is also understandable. But yeah, I mean, yeah. He speaks of equality of races and economic equality, but never goes out drinking with a minority cab driver. Well, indeed. He studies grammar before speaking a language. The intellectual yet idiot knows at any given point in time what his words or actions are doing to his reputation, but a much easier marker, he doesn't even deadlift. Much easier, I just don't get the fucking point. In this chapter, I will propose that what people resent or should resent is the person at the top who has no skin in the game. That is because he doesn't bear his allotted risk, he is immune to the possibility of falling from his pedestal, exceeding his income or wealth bracket and waiting in line outside the soup kitchen. Well, for instance, only 10% of the wealthiest 500 American people or dynasties were so 30 years ago. More than 60% on the French list are heirs, and a third of the richest Europeans were the richest centuries ago. In Florence, it was just revealed that things are even worse. The same handful of families have kept the wealth for 5 centuries. But I mean, I can understand it. Like, if you're wealthy at one point in time, and it is a family thing, especially as well, and it was kept for a certain amount of time, then it is still going to be there. Of course, I've just consciously constructed this sentence in that way because I think just because you once have money doesn't mean that you're always going to have money, because, you know, you can't just make some dumb decisions and lose everything. I do think the whole family thing has something to do with that in terms of keeping the money, because I don't really know why, but I kind of have a feeling that just having a family thing like it is in Florence, if I remember this correctly, there is actually a house, and it's probably also going to be the same people. What is it? I don't remember, unfortunately, but I've been in Florence, and it's actually pretty nice, you know, especially just, you know, having a look at all these amazing things and whatnot. It's just dope. It's amazing. I like it. What did I want to say? Yes. And I mean, like, if they've been having it for 2 centuries, then I don't know, having it for another 3 centuries is, I think, very likely. You know, if they just get the hang of how to keep money, then yeah. I mean, I just, you know, I'm also not really mad at this. I mean, if they're able to just sustain that and do something with it, then yeah, I'm fine with that. I don't really care. And I don't see the problem. If there's a problem, I don't know. The way to make society more equal is by forcing, through skin in the game, the rich to be subjected to the risk of exiting from the 1%. Exiting. What is by forcing the rich to be subjected to the risk of exiting from the 1%? I think I kind of get what he's referring to, but I don't know. Like, the thing is, I'm just definitely not mad at rich people. Like, really fucking not. I'm not rich myself. I would say that we are just really kind of middle class, I think. Just really, really. And I don't know. Like, I'm not mad at them. And I'm not also that mad at just inequality when it comes to wealth. I do understand that, yes, there is a bunch of very rich people that are having and or allocating just really a lot of money. And most often they've also done something for that, or just somebody else did something some time ago. So I really cannot be just mad at them, to be honest. But yeah, I can still also understand people that are mad at them and being like, well, you know, I'm having this shitty life and these are just having a really good life because somebody did something back in the days. I mean, I can also understand that. So class envy doesn't originate from a truck driver in South Alabama, but from a New York, Washington, D.C. Ivy League educated IVI, say Paul Krugman or Joseph Stiglitz, with a sense of entitlement, upset some less smart persons are much richer. What? So class envy doesn't originate from a... Well, you know, it can originate. Okay, of course, the likelihood is different. I know the chances are different, but yeah. Aristotle, in his rhetoric, postulated that envy is something you are more likely to encounter in your own kin. Lower classes are more likely to experience envy toward their cousins or the middle class than toward the very rich. Is envy like jealousy? Bitterness, desire, discontent, spite. Yeah. I think that the envy that you're feeling towards people that you know, whether it is your cousin or some other middle class people. Well, the thing is, I mean, something else that I just had in mind is there's gonna be some envy towards people that are in the same class as you, or whether it is middle class or whatever, but they seem to be richer, but they're not. You know, they just display themselves as being more rich than other people in the same class because they're valuing different things. This might be also a reason to be envy. I think, at least. Traders, when they make profits, have short communications. When they lose, they drown you in details, theories, and charts. Well, that which is lindy is what ages in reverse, i.e. it is life expectancy lengthens with time conditional on survival. Okay, the pre-Socratic thinker Periander of Corinth wrote more than 2,500 years ago, use laws that are old but food that is fresh. Likewise, Alfonso X of Spain, or the 10th of Spain, nicknamed El Sabido, the wise, had as a maxim, burn old logs, drink old wine, read old books, keep old friends. Use laws that are old, but food that is fresh. Is this not something good? I can't really decide. You can define as a free person precisely as someone whose fate is not centrally or directly dependent on peer assessment. And recall that a free person does not need to win arguments, just win. One should give more weight to research that, while being rigorous, contradicts other peers, particularly if it entails costs and reputational harm for its author. Further, someone with a high public presence who is controversial and takes risk for his opinion is likely to be a bullshit vendor. The turtles all the way down expression expresses an infinite regress problem as follows. The logical Bertrand Russell was once told that the world sights on turtles, and what do these turtles stand on, he asks. It's turtles all the way down was the answer. A lot of ranting, which is not something that I'm mad at. I kind of enjoy that to some degree. But yeah, this has been the 5th book. And with that being said, I'm going to say goodbye. So I wish you the best health, wealth, happiness, and also success, and also hope that you're going to remind yourself and you're going to be remembered, which basically means your legacy, and basically means just being a nice person and then being remembered as a nice person, which is a pretty cool thing. On the other hand, something else to consider and something else to think about is, what could you do, what could you say, what could you change that is really going to make somebody's day or life or whatnot? Because I really believe that we all can do something, at least something. 3 other questions that I'm having for you are, why are you here? What are you trying to change? And what is bothering you the most? These 3 questions are hopefully going to show you your purpose and maybe indeed even a business idea, which is a fucking cool thing. And yeah, with that being said, I'm hopefully going to see you the next time. Bye-bye, and I'm going to see you soon. Choo-choo.